guys, so in today's video we are going to be talking about the Canucks' 4-1 loss versus the Pitsburg Penguins. And there's pretty much just one phrase that I have to say to summarize this Canucks team in this game. They were a joke. It all started in the first period where the Canucks were outshot 16-9. Another start for this Canucks team where they just do not seem prepared. The Penguins absolutely dominated that entire period. Pretty much all the good Canucks chances that came to them was on the PK. The first period, the ice was completely tilted towards the Canucks' end, and this has happened so many times in this Canucks season, game after game after game. Sometimes you see a game that, like the Dallas game, oh, the Canucks, oh, maybe they're coming back, but no, every time they come back with an effort like this, where they just aren't prepared in the first period. And who does that responsibility come back to? Certainly, it does come back to the players, but also it's in a big part the problem of Travis Green, who just doesn't seem to be able to prepare his teams for games. It is just unacceptable for an NHL team to play so poorly in the first 20 minutes of every single game. At the end of that first period, Burroughs takes a hooking penalty, which leads into the second period, where, well, the Penguins finally score to make it 1-0. And after this goal, I was pretty discouraged, but then I saw the Podkolzin, Pettersson, and Garland line. And for a couple shifts, this line was really buzzing, really creating in the offensive zone, which is something the Canucks hadn't done in the entire game. And right when I'm feeling good, Pettersson gives it away at the blue line, trying an extra move. It goes to the Penguins, they bring it into the offensive zone, and then Hughes has it, and he just completely gives it away, and the Penguins score to make it 2-0. And right after that goal, you saw a line of Chiasson, Lammikko, and Pettersson, which pretty much is Travis Green saying to Pettersson that he just isn't good enough. And well, I agree. Pettersson, honestly, this season has been more of a fourth-line player than a first-line player. And really, I do not understand why Travis Green keeps Pettersson on that first line and really moving players around him as if he isn't the problem, when he is really the source of the Canucks' problems right now, because he just isn't producing. He hasn't scored one single 5-on-5 goal this entire season. And on the 5 PKs that the Canucks had, you could just see how easily the Penguins could enter the zone every single time. They could just skate in and set up with no resistance from the Canucks. For the Canucks on 5-on-5, I don't think I saw them set up in the offensive zone a single time. An example of that was, well, Tucker Poolman once again, as always, messing up on the blue line on a drop pass, and well, it goes back 3-on-1 for the Penguins, and they score to make it 3-0. And this has happened so many times with Tucker Poolman. He just does not seem like an NHL defenseman. He gives it away. Just such simple plays that any NHL player should be able to do. He seems to mess it up every single time, which almost always results in an offensive chance for the other team. And towards the end of the game, with 5 minutes left, Horvat finally does something, and he scores a pretty nice goal. A nice rush to the net with his kind of signature move to the backhand, and he roofs it. Honestly, I'll give it to him. This was a nice goal, but I think me and all of Canucks Nations really think that he needs to be better for this Canucks team as the captain every single night. And except in this moment in the game, he just seems so invisible, like players like Pettersson and Besser. And then Demko, as usual, he absolutely bailed the Canucks out in this game so many times. This would have easily been a 7-0 loss if Demko wasn't in net. And I mean, you feel so bad for him because the Canucks just keep leaving him out to dry. And I think in his mind, I just imagine him kind of thinking and kind of regretting about signing that 5-year contract with the Canucks. The other strong point for the Canucks, and there really weren't many except Demko and, well, Podkolzin. I started in the last game versus Chicago, but Podkolzin seemed really confident in this game, really pulling off between the legs moves and really going one-on-one against 3 players. He seemed really good out there, and he really was one of the Canucks' best offensive players. And then the Pittsburgh Penguins score an empty netter to make it 4-2. 2-1. And after watching this game, I point to one person, and that is Francesco Aquilini, the owner of the Canucks. What are you going to do to this team to make it better, to make a change? You have to fire Green. How do you not see that he's lost the locker room? The Canucks, after one seemingly good game versus Chicago, just a disgusting effort versus the Pitsburg Penguins. How do you not make a change? How do you not fire Green after this? You have to make a change. You have to fire Benning. You have to fire Green. You have to do something. You can't just sit there and tweet once in a century and just not do anything to this team who is playing so poorly. Seriously, as an NHL owner anywhere else in the league, Jim Benning and Travis Green would have been gone centuries ago, but no, this is the Canucks, and getting fired, especially in the Jim Benning era, just doesn't seem to happen. Aquilini, you are the owner of the Canucks team. You have to take ownership for how bad it is and make changes. Also, I'd really love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this rant, and I'll see you in the next video.